welcome to another episode of Women Talk. Welcome to the show. I'm Nadia Heng, your host. For many women, a miscarriage is not just a medical experience. It's grief, it's shock, it's mourning a future that you had already imagined. And despite how common pregnancy loss is amongst women today, many women continue to suffer in silence. They carry with them guilt, confusion, loneliness, and it's really hard to move on. So today, we're going to have a compassionate, open, and honest conversation about miscarriages, relationships, and healing. And joining me in the studio today, I'm delighted to welcome, we've got Dr. Imelda Balchin, consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, and the awe-inspiring entrepreneur and actress, Dina Mokhtar. Thanks for joining us, ladies.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much for being on the show today. You have no idea how much this means to us. Of course, this is a very, very delicate, a very fragile topic. So even more reason why we appreciate you both being here and being able to open up to us and to our audience today. Dinas, I know that this must be quite a heavy moment for you. But given the fact that this is such an emotional topic, let's start with that. What made you decide to come on the show today?
Well, of course, to share what happened, and because a lot of people don't actually know. And to be honest, I kind of like, of course, I cannot say that I forget, or because it's something that you can't just forget. You know, it's something that happened to my first baby. So by talking to everyone and talking to you guys about this and sharing about what happened to me, I guess it's also like a therapy for me as well, you know, because when you say it happened to me like way back in 2009, right? So for me to actually talk about it again now, it takes a lot of
a lot of courage.
Courage, exactly.
Yeah.
And,
thank you for
to
being
go
here.
back to 2009 when I experienced what I had to go through, and to actually talk about it is actually therapeutic for me as well. So, and that's why I'm here.
Well, if you're comfortable, maybe you can share a little bit about that experience. You know, walk us through what actually happened, and maybe some of the most vivid moments that you still take with you till today.
I got pregnant the same year that I got married. So everything happened really fast, and I was really excited because, of course, who wouldn't want to get pregnant right after marriage, right? That's the next thing that you look forward to. So being a mom, so I was really excited and all that, and I was really looking forward to being a mom. I didn't do any preparations. I was just going with the flow, doing my thing, still active, working and all that, shooting day and night, you know. There's no pantang or whatsoever. I was just doing my thing. And I went through seeing the doctor as usual and all that. And when I was 6 months pregnant, so I went to the doctors, and suddenly, when I was doing my scanning, then suddenly the doctor thought there's a problem with the machine. So they had to restart the machine and whatnot. And I could see from her eyes that there's something wrong with the baby. But so when I finally asked her, I said, is there anything wrong? She was like, oh, nothing's wrong. I just need to restart the machine. But I could see from her eyes that she was hiding something. Yeah. So, and I don't know why, naluri seorang ibu, I think I could feel something was wrong when even before I saw her, before I saw the doctor, like on the way to the doctors, I was already having that feeling, you know. But because, I mean, she was moving fine, I could still feel her. So, but I could feel that the movement was not as normal as before. Yeah. So, before she actually told me what's wrong with the baby, I could already feel that there's something really bad that's going to happen to the baby. So she asked me to go for a break, meaning go for lunch and then come back. And then she got another doctor in to reconfirm. And then, true enough, Yeah, they told me that there's something wrong with the baby's heart. So they asked me to go for another proper scanning, to really look at the baby's heart at that time. So that's when we knew that the baby was not normal. Instead of having 4 chambers, you only have 2. Yeah, so...
And this is when you were at 6 months?
6 months. And then at 6 going to 7, yeah, then I lost the baby.
I'm so sorry for your loss, Dinas.
No.
Thank you for sharing this with us. And there is a beautiful end to the story, because you now have 4 beautiful children.
4.
But thank you for sharing your story. Dr. Imelda, how common are, in terms of medical perspective, how common are miscarriages?
Well, actually, if you're talking about spontaneous pregnancy losses, they depend on your age. If you're 20 years old, 1 in 10 pregnancies are miscarried. If you are 30 years old, then 1 in 5 pregnancies miscarry. If you're 35, that increases to 1 in 4. If you're 40 years old, it's about 1 in 3 pregnancies miscarry. And if you get to 45, about half pregnancies miscarry.
Those are staggering numbers.
Yes, exactly. A lot of people don't know they miscarried because they may think it's a late period. They didn't get a chance to do a pregnancy test. So actually it's an understatement when we give any number to pregnancy losses. There are more than we know.
It sounds like it's actually extremely common. So if it's so common, how come it still has such a deep impact, physically, emotionally on women till this very day?
Well, a lot of people believe that it's their fault. The problem here is that you need to know this is never about you. It's not your fault, and never internalize it as something personal. It's not your fault.
Oh, imagine, because I was like, at that time, winning a lot of awards and all that, right? So I was in a front page paper, and when the news came out about what happened to me, all the gossip column, and imagine like they were blaming me on everything, not just me, but my whole family at that time.
That is not right.
Like I was wearing too tight. The baby was suffocating inside of me, things like that, and that's many things.
The reason why I wrote my book.
Well, Dr. Imelda, I know that you have this book written to dispel these myths. There was a very powerful paragraph in your poem. Would you like to share that with our audience?
Yeah, so this is written in Malay because we need to touch the hearts of our society in the language then people can understand. So this is about keguguran, bangkit dari jatuh. But when a woman loses a pregnancy, dia hilang kandungan, hilang keyakinan. You lose confidence when you've lost a baby. And you feel that disappointment, especially when women in our society, the aunties come. This is what happened to you. The aunties come and they said things to make you feel that it's your fault. And they say, awak salah makan. Sebab itulah awak gugur. They say, awak terlalu lasak. Sebab itulah awak gugur. Rahim awak kotor. Would you believe it? There are products out there that tells you that you need to have a cleaner womb to conceive. Ada produk cuci rahim out there. It should not be out there, right? And then they say, rahim awak tak kuat. Sebab tu awak gugur. And the worst bit, they say, awak banyak dosa. Sebab itulah awak gugur. We got to stop all that. It's all a myth. It's never your fault.
We're going to take a short pause. This is heavy stuff, but we'll be right back after this. Please do stay with us. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Women Talk. I'm Nadia Heng, your host. And of course, joining me here in the studio today, we've got Dr. Imelda, Professor Dr. Imelda, and of course, the wonderful Dinas Mokhtar. So ladies, it's been quite a heavy first segment. Yes. Thank you for being on the show. I want to ask you this. I think we've already spoken earlier about the emotional impact that it has on women, you know, the grief, the loneliness, but it also goes way beyond that, right? It also affects women's identity, how women perceive themselves, how it shifts and creates cracks in relationships. So let's start off with Dr. Imelda. You know, this is, I think, really hard for couples to go through. I can only imagine. Women grieve privately, some of them. You know, couples may grieve differently. And even though there might be love and support in a relationship, this can sometimes create a lot of distance instead of connection. So how common is it to see this communication breakdown within a relationship?
Actually, people underestimate the men. They need support as well. When a couple loses a baby, a lot of attention is given to the women alone, and they think that the men do not need the support. The men need to be strong for the women. But I see quite a lot of men breaking down as well. And to be strong for the women, they also need support. And we need to have a little bit more empathy for the men as well as for the women.
Dinas, tell us a little bit about your experience. Did you struggle with this internal confusion with your identity? You know, one moment you thought you were going to be a mum, and then everything gets stripped away. How did you handle this? And how did you also navigate that relationship with your partner at that point in time?
We didn't communicate about this at all. So I didn't know what he went through. And he probably think I'm okay because I'm trying to portray this strong person from the outside, right? But he doesn't know what's going on inside. And I was trying to compress and not show to anyone. And even though my doctor actually asked if I needed help, and there's actually people that I can talk to just let my feelings out. But I did not go through that because for me, it's difficult enough that I was the center of attention at that time. Everyone was wanting to know everything about me. And even during the miscarriage, I tried to hide the whole story. So that's why it was not, at first, nobody knew about it until during my pantang, so halfway through. And then I actually won an award and I didn't go to Genting to take my award. So that's when TV3 actually called. Wow. And I had to break it down to them. I had to tell them the news because I didn't want them to be disappointed. I mean, they thought I was just being drama of not going up and taking my award, right? So then the next day, everything blew up. So I was trying to portray as this woman that is strong, this person that they look up to, and this person that people is I can feel that I can feel that people were disappointed because I'm sure they were also looking forward how my baby looks like, and then it was my first baby and I was the talk of the town at that time, so it didn't help that I lost the baby and I felt even more.
My gosh, I cannot imagine the pressure. It would have been your first child.
Yes.
You having the celebrity status, and the following that you do, and trying to conceal all of that. That must have been.
And I was signing contracts for endorsements or baby products or baby shops and all that. And you imagine my position. I didn't know what to do.
It's really sad that you had to hide it.
I had to hide it.
But that's the thing. When you have to hide something, you have to internalize it. You can't talk about it because the society punishes you for losing a child by saying it's your fault.
And that's why conversations like this are ever more important to create that awareness. Dinas, between you and your partner, how did you, before we take a quick break, what was one thing that really helped both of you hold on to your connection with each other when you were going through this tough
That's the thing. I don't know whether it was healthy, whatever that we were doing, but we just wanted to just move on. We just put everything aside and not talk about it ever. And just chuck everything off and not talk about it, which is not healthy either, right? Because you don't talk about it. And the end of the day, until today, I don't know. I mean, we never talk about it. I mean, I'm no longer with him and we don't talk about it. And I still question, is that why we're no longer together? But it's something that we don't talk about. So.
Well, Dr. Imelda, what is, if you have two things that you would like to share in terms of building that healthy relationship with your partner,
Yeah.
what would you say those 2 key things might be?
You got to release your emotions. You got to share your emotions. You got to talk and let go your feelings. What I tell all my patients who have lost their pregnancies, number one, it is not your fault. You got to talk about it. Talk to the couples. They need to talk to each other and let out their feelings. Many people think that they need to console you, they need to counsel you. They don't have to. All they have to do is listen. Let you talk about it and just listen. They don't have to say anything. That helps you with the therapy that you're allowed to talk about it. You don't have to hide your feelings.
Yeah, guys, please go to therapy. I mean, my doctor did ask me to go to therapy, like, you know, at least you can talk about it, even not to your partner, but at least to someone else.
Yeah.
And that
With
someone
friends,
else might be able to help you.
Absolutely.
But no, I decided to just compress everything and hide everything all in.
We're going to be right back after this break. And when we return, we're going to talk about how to heal and to slowly move on from such a traumatic experience. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Women Talk. You're here with me, Nadia Heng, your host. And joining us in the studio is Dinas Mokhtar, entrepreneur, actress. And of course, we have Professor Dr. Imelda Balchin. Thank you, ladies, for being on the show today. So I think it's now time to talk a little bit about healing, ladies. You know, I think when it comes to healing, most of us think that it's going to be a linear process. You move on from one stage to the next. But Dinas, I'm pretty sure that's not always the case. What was your healing journey like for you?
Well, I think I'm still trying to heal. How can you ever heal completely, right? I don't think you can ever. But because the thing is, I chose to heal myself and not with anyone's help, which is like I just go with the flow and think that, you know, whatever works, you know, but I don't even know that it worked or not, but through time, then you eventually heal slowly.
Yeah.
But with help, I'm sure that I can heal faster and actually be different than how I am right now.
You can never forget,
Yeah, I can never, ever
but you can
forget.
move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I did. It's just that there's a lot of things that I would have done differently, you know. But I did it myself. I healed myself, and it's just that if I were to turn back time, I would do things differently, lah.
What would you have done differently?
Like seek for help, get therapy, get proper therapy, for not just me, for both of us, and probably how I raised my kids after that is also different, you know, and how I went through pregnancy after that is also different, and how I go through life and all the makcik bawangs differently. There's a lot of situation that I would have done differently lah, you know, if I were to do it how I want to do it now.
Did you have moments where you thought, okay, I'm better, I feel like I'm okay now, and then suddenly, years later, something happens that triggers you?
Always.
Yeah.
I was like, can you imagine that every time I got pregnant, the fear that I got, every scan, you know how many scans that we have to go through, right? A lot.
And you've had 4 kids since
And I
then.
had 4 kids. And especially when I was pregnant again at the age of 40. Imagine my fear. And I didn't plan for that pregnancy, for my last one. So it was unplanned. Can you imagine?
That will carry through.
Until when I was about to give birth. And the 4th child, I actually didn't have to go through, my water broke at home, which really freaked me up even more because you're not prepared, you know. I am trying to be like all cool and all like, you know, I planned my days and I was already planning what's going to happen, and suddenly I was like, I think I was like 2 or 3 weeks earlier than the date So
Yeah.
my water broke at home. Can you imagine? I was like freaking out.
Correct.
And I was so not prepared to give birth. I was pale. Even my doctor was like, hey, dude, chill. It's your fourth. Come on. I mean, it's your fifth in a way.
The trauma from losing a pregnancy carries through for every pregnancy.
Honestly,
every pregnancy journey.
I was ready to go.
Yeah.
I was telling myself, I was praying to God, if anything happens to this baby, no, let it happen to me. I will go. Save the baby.
That's insane. All these years later, it still hits you.
Yeah.
Our women need to move on after a pregnancy loss. They do not need to have somebody else to impose on them anything that will affect their quality of life. We want good quality of life for all our women. There is no such thing as food restriction after birth or after miscarriage. Eating healthy is for life. It's not for after birth or miscarriage. There is no such thing as, certain food that helps you to cause problems with fertility, for example. And what I want all our women to do is, if you have had a pregnancy loss or whether you've had a normal childbirth, to eat healthy for life. And it's not about 44 days after birth. There is no such restrictions. No doctors ever tell their patients who have lost their babies that they need to restrict certain types of food. That is culture. That is not medical.
If you were to leave our audience with, what would you like to say to women out there who might be suffering in silence, who are experiencing what you have already previously experienced on steroids, I might add, given your celebrity status, the amount of pressure you've experienced? What's your one piece of advice?
My advice would just be seek for professional help if you can. And if you are seeking for help from the people closest to you, you just have to also know that the advice that they're giving you is something that you can take 100%, or maybe just listen and take whatever that you think that it's best for you.
Thank you so much, Dinas. Thank you, Dr. Imelda. It has been a very emotional afternoon here in the studio, and we hope that you've enjoyed our conversation today. Thank you for being so open, ladies, about this topic. It's not been easy, but we want to remind all of you out there, if you are going through this, there is no timeline on your grief. And remember that there's no shame, there's no guilt in a miscarriage. It's not your fault. And also, I think most importantly of all, it's important to remember that you have people around you, you have friends, you have family, you're not alone in this. And there are plenty of channels to ask for help, to seek professional medical help. With that being said, if you love today's content, please engage with us on our social platforms at Women Talk TV3 and at TV3 Malaysia. I'm Nadia Heng signing off. Until the next time, goodbye.